This week we discuss percentiles, new things you can get for free, kind of, and a When Harry Met Sally situation in the sense of when old meets new. Do I know if that's how When Harry Met Sally went? No. Did I ever watch the movie? Also no.
These are like some fucking riddles you're doing now. And with that being said, welcome to the Gamers 2 podcast. For October, what day is it? 9th. October 9th.
Nueve.
This is your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest.
Less of a riddle from you.
Yeah, that's just spitting facts.
I throw them for a confusion loop, you bring them back, and then I go back to say that I am the troll underneath the bridge, and you must answer my 3 riddles. Riddles, not riddles. To pass. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Blah, blah, blah. Shit-da-da-da-ba. Anyway.
What's this podcast about? Riddles? Video games? Babies. Eating babies. Wrong podcast.
That's the other podcast we do that releases at 2 a.m.
On the dark web.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's called Two Gamers. As in, we go too far. Oh man, that'd be a really weird if we just launched if we launched another podcast that was called Two Gamer and it was just us being the exact stereotype thereof. And to an nth degree where we just get into the deep shitholes of Reddit and keep going.
That'd be a dark place to go.
Get it?
See
anyway,
what you did there.
I see what you did there. You double darked. But in terms of things that you could play in the light, new releases. I think that's how that segue goes.
Sounds good to me. I was like, what is there a new Destiny coming out?
Yes.
Little Light?
No, isn't it Beyond Light? I have no idea anymore with Destiny.
Yeah, calls Ghost Little Light. Or if someone called it.
Yeah, but they get pissed when they call it Little Light, I think. Wasn't that the whole thing? Was that Dinglebot was really angry when you get called Little Light?
Probably. I don't remember anymore.
I mean, that was Dinklebot, though. So, number 1, Foregone on the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Number 2, Ninth Dawn 3, Shadow of Earthel. For PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 3 is Baldur's Gate 3 for the PC and Stadia.
The developer was asking NVIDIA for a graphics card.
Interesting.
Because the 3080s are so hard to find that they were like, can you just give us one so that we can test it to make sure it works? Like, because we can't find one.
Huh. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 it finally made it, or this is its early access launch, I believe. I believe this is the early access launch. I'm not 100% positive about that. But number 4, Democracy 4 for your PC. What a time to be releasing.
I was going to say Democracy 4. We'll get it right one of these times.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the first 3 democracies, but the 4th one's the key, I swear. Number 5, Destiny 2, Festival of the Lost.
There is a Destiny.
For the PC, PlayStation, Xbox.
I played myself.
And Stadia. Number 6, Hyperscape Season 2 start. I gotta stop hiccuping. Number 7, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 8, Overcrowd, a commute 'em up for PC. Number 9, Blastin' for the PC VR. Number 10, Fall Guys Season 2 has officially started. Go get your crown, steal those tails, and play the other games. Number 11, Game Dev Tycoon goes to Switch, a game that I spent time playing on Steam about 7 years ago. Number 12, Eichenfell for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Also available on Game Pass. I noticed it the other day. Number 13, Ride 4 for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Number 14, the uncertain light at the end for the PC. Number 15, Ben 10 Power Trip for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and the Switch. Number 16, FIFA 21 for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. We're just not going to even mention the Switch version. Number 17, The Survivalists for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Is FIFA 21 like just broken on Switch? Or
It's
is it
FIFA 19.
Oh, okay. Some neutered version.
No, they've just done the same, like, since they launched 19 on the Switch.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do anything, and they released 20, which is the same exact thing as 19. They did the same thing again. To IGN UK's credit, they put up their review for FIFA 20 for FIFA 21 with a paragraph in the front of it that said, because EA copy and pasted their game, we're just going to copy and paste our review.
I like that. That's good shade.
Like, well done.
Good shade.
Well done. Rather than you copy and paste somebody else's review, copy and paste your own review.
It's funny.
It is.
Definitely is funny.
It is funny when you think of the context that has surrounded those things. I will take...
He's being strategic this time.
Evens.
Even Steven today.
Even Stevens. Evens is punishing, but Evens does have one of the things that I specifically wrote in. So that's what I was actually looking for. Because it is long in the tooth.
I was planning them out, and then I deleted stuff, so that fucked the whole order up again.
I could see that you were planning things, and then we started like as we're editing on top of each other, I was like, this isn't going to work. Because I was going to start deleting and retype, like, just pasting whole paragraphs, and it was going to get to be a nightmare.
Yeah, fuck it.
It was bad enough when I tried to start just typing in the middle of your typing, so then I was like, I shouldn't do
that. This is a long-winded one.
Yeah, I know. I gave you a hard one to start with.
The antitrust trial opposing Epic Games and Apple is set to begin May 3rd, 2021.
So
that's it.
Come back for more on that in 6 months or 9 months, or carry the one 8 months. We'll be here.
And then you'll have your appeals.
Yeah, so
tack on another 6 months or
in about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when we break this up into multiple court cases, because one part gets settled and not the other.
Yeah, this doesn't include the Google one.
Yeah, exactly. So even though they'll just say, well, it's precedent because it got settled 6 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 2. A study from market research company VGM indicated that U.S. players who have pre-ordered a next-gen console have predominantly gone for the disc edition of the PlayStation 5. Ooh. Ooh-hoo. Now for some numbers that Nate doesn't agree with. The study was conducted from September 23rd to the 25th of 2020, using a sample of 511 U.S.-based respondents. Among them, 15% said they managed to successfully pre-order a next-generation console. Within this group, 72% went for the disc edition of the PS5, 30% went for the went for the Xbox Series X, 10% went for the PS5 digital edition, and 8% for the Xbox Series S. So, in case anybody's curious for the long-winded part of this, 511 people is who they surveyed to then represent 328 some odd million U.S. consumers, not counting global.
That's my issue with this.
So
there's a word for this, and I can't think of what it is. Continue.
Electoral college. the representation or like percentage based of 511 people choosing for the masses doesn't make sense. And just to really narrow this down a little bit more, 15% of 511 is 77 people. So you're telling me that 77 people out of the 511 managed to buy a console, and 55 of those 77 bought a disc version of the PS5. Which, if we wrap that all back together, 55 people out of 511 bought a disc PS5. And also, the part that doesn't make sense to me is it says that 15% of people bought a next generation console, and 29%, which is the percent that failed to get a pre-order, 15 plus 29 leaves you a gap of 66% somewhere that either did they buy both, did they just don't care and they didn't get either, like did they mark a no interest box? I wanted to see the actual graph, and the article we got this from doesn't link to it, which is horseshit. And even then, the actual statistics are based off of 511 people. And in case you're curious how statistics work, if I go try to talk to Matt is now one person. I ask Matt, what did you try to pre-order?
A PlayStation 5.
Which version?
Both.
100% of people have tried to buy a PlayStation 5. Either version. You're welcome, statistics. And reading through that article does not help either.
Yeah.
Because they don't explain the missing 66% to me.
I'm assuming it's the people who aren't interested in pre-ordering. Right?
Right, but then how... If that's the case, if that your third option was you weren't interested...
How many of them plan on getting a console?
Right.
How many of them say fuck consoles?
Right. Where does that 66% needs to then be divided up again into not pre-ordering, not buying it all, blah, blah, blah. And like that's... then you can't just claim that 72% of Americans want a disc PlayStation 5.
Yeah, my issue with this is definitely the size of the size of the study. There's a fucking term for it, and it's driving me nuts because I can't think of what it is. Because, like, as you know, if they're doing this in like a specific area,
entirely different as well.
Yeah, like you can get a whole town that skews one way. Like it's possible.
In case you're curious. The town I happen to live in, if we were going by percentages used like this, 99% of it would buy an Xbox, and 1% of it would probably be looking to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's how divided it is. So who'd you ask? Did you poll? Like, how did you even poll people? Did you just randomly blast email chains? Because you didn't wait outside stores and go, what'd you pre-order? So there's, in 511, which we know roughly.
Sample size.
Yeah, well, I thought that's what, okay, never mind. I thought there was going to be a much higher term
no,
for it.
Just, it's a simple term, and that's why I was frustrating, because I couldn't fucking...
I was going to say that, but I was like, that seems way too simple for what he's trying to think of.
Which, if you read through the comments, everything we've just talked about, people are bringing up. Sample size is extremely low for a market of more or less 328 million people.
Yep.
If you add up all the percentages, the math doesn't work out, obviously. And then there's all the comments like, so, you know, there's definitely people who pre-ordered both.
Yeah, the first one's the one that I think is the really good breakdown. The first one gives you the 77 that I got for, you know, that's how many people bought a PlayStation, or, you know, that's how many people managed to get a console. And I think they have it at 58, which I don't know how they got to 58, but 58 people buying a PlayStation 5. Then what is it, 30? Or I don't remember what the actual human numbers are, but yeah, your sample size is so tiny to the point where you told me out of 511 that 15%. So you have less than 1/5 of the people you interviewed. But I don't. Or you people you surveyed, I should say.
It's too early to tell these things.
Yeah, it is a too early to tell. I mean, you could kind of see it a little bit with, yeah, no, actually, no, you're right. Screw it. You can't tell. It's too early to tell. Let's just wait until launch day.
Yeah, or
NPD March,
something like that. Well, we'll know once, because one of the companies will say, "Oh, we sold this many consoles," and the other company will be like, "We're selling enough." So, like, you'll know that
Sony will tout their number.
Yeah, because they've
had the whole stories around their numbers of production anyway, so it'll make sense for them to.
Speaking of Sony Interactive Entertainment, it expects that the PlayStation 5 will sell more than 7 million units by the end of the current fiscal year. In an interview with Korean site Naver via Google Translate, President and CEO Jim Ryan predicted the console would, quote, sell more in its first fiscal year than we sold in the first fiscal year at the time of the PS4 launch, end quote.
Do we know that number?
I can probably find it for you fairly quickly.
I feel like it was 4 and some odd million.
Yeah, it was like 4.3 or something like that.
Yeah. Which, what's fiscal year for us? March, right? Or March 1st, something like that.
Yeah.
So 7 million? That's number 7 and change, or 7 million. So more.
That doesn't seem right, but maybe it could be.
So they're expecting to sell more than 7 million units by the end of the current financial year.
Yes.
And Jim's going to knock that down a peg, so he's still right potentially, where he says, we're going to sell more than we sold of the PS4. So even if we sell 4.5, we're technically ahead.
Although
7 million is a lot to move by the end of fiscal year.
I mean, according to what I'm seeing, the PS4 did 7 million units.
Interesting.
In the first fiscal year.
Huh.
But it's...
Maybe I have a different timeline.
That seems high to me.
Yeah. Either way, it'll be interesting. Interesting to see. So far, my order has not been canceled. So far.
It's not going to be canceled. You're good. You got it in the first wave.
I think so. Hey, yeah. Listen. There's always a chance. Until it's at my house, Matt, there is a fucking chance.
No, you got first wave. It's not Amazon, so it's...
Well, yeah. I think the biggest thing going for me is that it's not Amazon. First wave or not. It's not Amazon. Number 4. Microsoft continues to push forward with plans to get Xbox Game Pass onto iPhone and iPad, with a new report suggesting it will use a browser workaround. Business Insider reports head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, told employees earlier this week the company is exploring a, quote, direct browser-based solution, end quote, that would enable the service to stream games to Apple devices. Sources close to the matter told the site Microsoft hoped to find a solution it could launch sometime next year. According to these sources, Spencer told employees, quote, we will absolutely end up on iOS, end quote. And I put the note in of, Matt, did I not joke about this?
I do remember that conversation.
Where I said their entire way around it is to just make it work inside of Safari, and then they can't, I would think, ignore all of Apple Store restrictions.
Yep. Which, someone else is doing that, or did that. Who was it? What the fuck was it? There was another company that was doing a browser-based thing.
I mean, Stadia is Chrome-based.
I thought it was a story we did, and it was like, Microsoft's like, I'm going to do that too.
I don't remember now, but I do think I remember saying, like, yeah, just do it that way. Then you're not an actual app, and they can't go after you. Because then if they went after you this way, now you have a giant dispute that you can actually win.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get it to work in browser, then more power to them.
And getting it to work in a browser just works for other people as well.
Yeah. For sure.
For shizzle. But either way, the saga's not over.
It's not.
Apple's got to fight Epic. Apple's got to fight Microsoft. They're fighting a war on two fronts, and we know what happens, Matt, when you fight a war on two fronts.
I don't think it's in here. But there was more Microsoft stuff, but it was so
There's
like
Microsoft later.
there was so much. No, because I think I deleted it. I think I gave it the old kibosh.
Well, I mean, you kept the GameStop part in.
I don't even know what that is.
GameStop's the only time Microsoft can find.
Yeah, so like there was the whole Microsoft updating their App Store principles.
Oh, I saw you. Yeah, I saw the headline, but I didn't go look for it.
Basically, they're taking shots at Apple, and they've updated their App Store principles, and it's like all like openness and like fair cuts to and blah 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 blah. It's like all right, guys.
At what point do we get to have the bumper stickers or the window decals of the peeing kid with a Microsoft shirt pissing on an Apple logo?
Yeah, that's really funny. Actually, we should do that. Probably make a fucking boatload of money.
We'd 100% be sued too, but we should do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
it'll be a full Apple. It won't have the cutout on it, so we'll be all right.
Right, true. It's just them pissing on a random Macintosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a random Apple.
Yeah.
Don't know. Might be a Granny Smith. You never know.
Yeah, could be. It's black and white. Could be green. You don't know.
Graphics team, can you get on that? Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Our people get a hold of someone else's people's.
Hey, I got a great idea for a shitty bumper sticker. You know the peeing kid? Popular in like 2002? Bringing it back.
I still see him all the time.
Well, yeah, because those are the same people that are wearing the short, can I see your manager haircut?
Or it's the fucking rusted out.
It's the rusted out minivan. I was gonna say a rusted out minivan.
No, the rusted out trucks with the peeing on the Chevy symbol.
Oh, that's true.
On the
They
Ford
use
symbol.
they use the truck ones. I could see like the peeing on a sports team one on like the back of a rusted out soccer mom van.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
We should. I'm surprised we don't have like peeing on certain political figures.
Sure we do.
A remaster of Criterion's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is on the way, and it's coming soon. You'll be able to play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on November 6th, and on the Nintendo Switch on November 13th. Some things to mention: the game will support cross-platform multiplayer. It comes with all the DLC released for the original game, as well as an updated photo mode and new achievements. On the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, blah, 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 it'll run it. That was the important part.
The PlayStation.
On the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, the game runs at 1080p at 30 frames per second. The PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X will get you 1080p at 60 frames per second in performance mode. And there's a 4K 30 FPS fidelity mode. Ooh, fancy. On PC, you can play in 4K at a maximum of 60 frames per second. Because, we can't have fun on PC. They can't, all that fancy horsepower. You can't use that. The frame rate cap is in place to help make for an even playing field in multiplayer.
It's like a horsepower joke.
Horsepower cars.
Yeah, an even playing field in multiplayer. So you're telling me you're using the creation engine? For the record, we watched the trailer. You don't need to play this game in 4K.
No.
They did not do that good of a visual upgrade that 4K is making a crazy change.
It looks arcadey.
1080 at any point makes sense.
Yeah, looks arcadey.
Yeah, it looks like a modern arcade cabinet. Actually, no. It looks like a 2011 arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Modern arcade cabinet would actually look better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was
imagine putting
initially
a 3090 in an arcade cabinet. Sorry.
That'd be I don't know. People do crazy shit all the time, I guess. That's what they install. Someone installed something on a the fuck game was it? They installed a game on a 3080 or 3090.
Oh.
My memory is like just
It's doing great.
it's just melt. It's just melted like butter,
Like liquid metal.
liquid metal. Foreshadowing.
Hey. That'll come up again.
What were we talking about?
I interrupted you with the idea of a 3090 in an arcade cabinet, but we were talking about the story in which
That I just read.
that 1080. I was saying that 1080 is not needed, or sorry, 1080 is fine, but 4K for that game is not.
Yeah, I was interested, and then we watched the trailer, and then I was like, man, it'd have to be really cheap.
Yeah, well, so I saw the like headlines come out about the remaster existing, and I was like, oh, all right, that'd be kind of cool. Hot Pursuit was I like dabbled in it. I didn't really go too far into it. I just I wetted my feet.
Mhm.
I did the old holy water, wash your fingers type thing, dip them in the water, and then just flick them on people.
Ugh. Power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, and I just burned demons away from people. The part that when we watched it, I was just like, why would I just not go play Need for Speed Heat? If I was gonna play a Need for Speed game, I would just go play a better one.
That's kind of the problem with this remaster.
Or give me fucking Pro Street on my PC so I can make my Drag Lotus again.
I would go for an Underground remaster, not that Underground reboot bullshit they did.
See, here's the thing. I would do the same thing for Most Wanted. Not the Most Wanted reboot bullshit they did, but the actual original Most Wanted redone.
I would like Underground 2, I think, remastered.
I have it out on the GameCube upstairs.
Honestly,
Just so we can play Riders on the Storm.
We're getting, Riders on the Storm. I just have that playing while I'm modifying cars.
Dude. There are quite a few games, sports games and racing games, where at Tony Hawk I do it on too, where I'll be just kind of doing something and I'm just at the same time I'm like no, and I'm slamming through the radio stations to get to the track I want. Or I'm like, I'm just gonna be sitting here customizing my car for a little bit. Get over to Riders on the Storm. Come on. I actually might bust that GameCube out. That's kind of bringing it back a little bit of tingly goodness. Imagine that on the TV downstairs.
It looked terrible.
Oh, it really would.
The one Need for Speed game, if I could get any Need for Speed game remastered, it'd be Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed.
Interesting.
Yes.
See, my two are Most Wanted and then Pro Street, the two that I've just mentioned.
Yes.
Pro Street, not loved by the Need for Speed community. Do I understand why? Oh, yes, I understand why. Because it was the first time they went, no. We do everything legal now. No, you don't get no more open world, no cops. You race on tracks. You do wheelie competitions. You do sprint races. You do drag races. You do your grip races. And I was like, that's all fine. I'm going to dominate in here. And I built that stupid Lotus that never should be able to win a drag race as fast as it was. And I loved every second of it.
And now all those kids that were playing those games, they have the money to make real ones, and they're doing it.
Yeah, you wait till you ever see me pull up in that Lotus. You need to ask me a lot of questions about my sanity level and how much insurance I have on my body. Because that thing will not be okay.
We could do it.
Or street legal, probably.
Yeah, that might be true.
But yeah, Pro Street was when I played it, was a lot of fun. And the original Most Wanted, I gave the reboot, or whatever you want to call it, remake, a shot, and just did not like it. It was the first time that they had switched to that, what I call the new driving engine.
Yeah.
Where everything's heavier and it just doesn't really move the way you want it to.
I mean, honestly, all the Need for Speed games recently have been pretty shit. And you know what it is? Forza. Forza has ruined Need for Speed.
Yeah. I saw that's playing Horizon. Horizon specifically.
Yeah.
When we played Horizon 2, 3, and 4, in playing those, that gives me the old Need for Speed feel I loved. My Most Wanted Need for Speed driving was now in Forza, and I was all here for it. And then Pro Street was its own thing, but it still had the same system, just confined to not streets. But I think I was racing around in a... oh, Matt's dying. I think I was racing around in the original Most Wanted in a custom MX-7. And it was just a blast. Great time. I think I also had a Viper. I definitely had a Mustang GT, an 05 Mustang GT, because they were just beefy and stupid looking. But it was just the only like beefy looking car. And I just bought it to have it, but I never could drive the thing because I could never make it fast enough. So somehow this was started about Hot Pursuit, and we immediately abandoned the idea because...
As you do with Need for Speed. Abandon it, move on to something better.
Literally Need for Speed. Need for Speed Heat. Hey, how many hours you get in? Oh, about 6. You done? Yeah, that's too much as it was. Even now, having EA Play Pro for a little bit longer, I was like, maybe I'll download Need for... No, I won't.
No, because you'll play it, you'll download it, you'll play one race and be like, oh, yeah.
We don't talk about EA again, so I'll bring it up now. Speaking of EA games that I've tried, I tried Squadrons.
Oh yeah,
because I have, like I said, I have the Play Pro, so I gave it a shot. So it's like it's not. What does it hurt me to download it? It looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! I can't fly. I didn't make it through the first mission. I was just like, I can't do this. I am so bad at flying. I can't do this.
I know there was like a stability update or something like that.
My problem wasn't that I wasn't stable. My problem is once it's, you overcorrect in a car and things can go really bad. Overcorrect in a plane or a TIE fighter in the first mission. Overcorrect in one of those that there's no recorrect. You're just now all of a sudden looking potentially into this emptiness of space where the entire combat you think might be behind you. It also might be below you. Might be above you. You're not positive because you found the one spot where you can't tell your direction anymore. And I'm just like, I don't know. So then I start trying to go one way and I don't see anything. Like as I'm turning to the right, I don't see anything. So I'm like, oh, that must have been the wrong way. And I start to turn left again to go that way. And now I'm going up at the same time. And it just, oh, it was so bad.
You think you're looking around, but really you're just going in a circle?
Yeah. I think I'm looking around, but it's the equivalent of if you just stick your arm out in front of you and do little circle motions in front of you. That's what my cockpit was doing instead of actually doing anything. Oh, it was...
Did they make it so like the ties are like really like snappy? Like, are they really sensitive?
If you're good, probably.
Okay.
But it wasn't for me.
Well, I was hoping they wouldn't fall into that, like... Because whenever you play, they like have TIE fighters flying in video games or whatever. They're always like really like agile, like overly agile.
Yeah. So. Not that I could notice, but I also could barely fly the thing in a straight line. Take that for what you will. There also, I couldn't. I shot a couple things down. Not planes. Standard turrets that are standing still. That, mind you, I stopped my TIE fighter and then slowly positioned to like lock on. I'm getting shot this entire time. And I'm like slowly aiming my cannons, and then I pull the trigger and I was like, all right, yeah, I killed one. How many more are there? I can't do this. I literally backed out of the first mission, quit, and uninstalled it. I was like,
oh, wow.
And it's not bad, but it's just because I knew going in, I can't fly, and that's what this entire game is. But I still wanted to give it a shot on the benefit of the doubt that maybe, everybody's got that one thing. They're like, maybe I'm really good at drums. I was like, maybe I finally learned how to fly. Nope.
I'll probably download it, install it, and try it in VR because I'm curious if it's better or worse in VR, given the fact that you should be able to look around.
I like the idea that if I was playing with a flight stick, I might be better. But playing with a controller, I might as well have had no hands. I might as well have been trying to use the Xbox adaptive controller as somebody that's fully capable of using a regular controller. Let's move on to a little bit of grim news. We've got some office shutdowns to mention. Activision Blizzard is shutting down its office in Versailles, France, according to a Bloomberg report. Their Versailles office performed a mix of functions, including marketing, customer support, and localization of games. Speaking of Bloomberg, did you see the blowback on the Crunch story?
I don't know. It depends on what angle I guess you're talking about.
Yeah, it depends on who you want to read, but apparently it was blown out of proportion. But we'll move on from that.
There's actually even more stuff. That's what I was reading earlier when you probably saw me over here reading my phone.
You read all the time, so I just don't.
Excuse me, sir.
Listen, Mr. Educated, all right?
Yeah, there was more updates on that as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Nothing crazy. But crunch. I'm sure like when
I feel like the updates are probably just monkeys flinging poo at this point.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I'm sure at some point we'll get a more concise,
I doubt it.
It'll
flow.
Or it'll just get brushed under the rug, or like people will forget about it because the game will come out and be like, "Oh, it's fucking amazing."
I think it'll either be brushed under the rug, or you will have lines drawn in sand.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be a coming together of let's tell the whole story. I think certain people will start wholly defending things.
Yeah,
and it will get really blown out of proportion.
Since we're on the topic, we might as well keep talking about it. So my issue with it, obviously, we've gone over what CD Projekt Red has said, and people are talking to Jason Schreier and calling bullshit on it and all that, and he's like continuing with his crunch thing
and his Twitter blocking rampage.
Yes, and his defense, he's like, you're calling me liars about this or whatever, but I've interviewed like 10. He said like 10 or 12 or something like that.
He might have used dozens.
Maybe dozens of CD Projekt Red employees over this, and it goes back to the sample size thing,
right?
CD Projekt Red employs something like 2,000 people now.
Yeah.
And it's the classic, like, you don't really leave a review unless you've had a bad experience. So he probably is getting literally all the people who are not okay with it.
Yeah, that want to speak about it. So there's that potential part of it, and then there was the other part where they said that a majority of people were completely okay with it, and it's like, okay, well, is a majority literally 51%? Because technically, by definition, it is.
Yeah.
So there's a whole thing to be done about it. I still stand by the part of we don't want to see companies do crunch, but if the actual employees have agreed to it, that's what they agreed to.
Yeah.
If you're outvoted 99-1, that's a different discussion.
Yeah, it's like it's the world is not a black and white place. So like
some people think it is.
If
I like to think it is, I like to want it to be one. But I
mean, this is 65% of the company agrees to it, and you're on the minority side. It's not as simple as saying 99%, obviously. And if you're unhappy, you can always work somewhere else, I guess. I mean that's like a broad sweeping statement. I get it, but
yeah, there's always
it's the vote with your wallet notion, like.
And I can understand you wanting to see the project out because you've been working on it for so long at this point. But then at the same time, like, okay, you finish the project. Like if you finish your part of the project and you're like, cool, now they've gone gold.
Yeah.
Leave. Yeah. You're like, cool, I know what I made, it's there, but I need to seek other things for other reasons. But then you also might be able to do the grass is always greener conversation.
Mm-hmm. This is like my opinion on this situation is definitely overblown. Like it's not. It doesn't seem like CD Projekt Red's the toxic environment that some other places that do crunch are, like Epic and Rockstar sounds pretty fucking bad. Like they're basically like, we're gonna pay you another day, but we want to get it out on time. Please work 6 extra days. Back to office shutdowns. And shoulder cats. He just looked pissed. He's just looking at me like, get your claws out of there. Chaos. Cat chaos.
Here, can I drop my arm? All right. So anyway, I have Max on me now for a little bit longer.
Yep. See if you can make it through.
Oh, I can definitely make it through. The other sad news we have is Riot Games has closed its office in Sydney after 7 years. The decision comes hand in hand with the League of Legends scaling down its esports operations in the region, to which the office was primarily dedicated.
That one we had a number on. 10 people.
10 people that were in that office?
Yeah, that lost their jobs. Yep.
Yeah, it's a region that is a tiny region that, for the most part, is very shared with China, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were, in the subreddit thread referencing this article, there are a bunch of people from, like, Australia and stuff. They're like, all my friends, nobody, you either root for NA or people are rooting for China teams.
Mm.
Like, nobody roots for anybody here. And the other, all right, come on, hold on. I gotta.
He's latched on, folks. We're not getting him back.
Other people were saying, there's the only other reason they would be using it is if they needed to use like an English cast for like the Chinese region or anything like that, but they don't use that studio as much for those things. And COVID, so it's not, from a financial standpoint, it makes sense for them to close it.
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is a smaller closing. Both of these things really were, but
yeah,
I'm surprised we haven't seen more due to COVID. But it's kind of weird because the video game industry, if anything, has profited more. But at the same time, like, it's restructured.
Well, we also then get the adventures, so
yeah. And Halo Infinite delay.
Yeah, but that's a delay. Avengers came out. Avengers exists.
Should have been aborted.
Less than 1,000
in
people.
the womb.
Less than 1,000 people on PC.
Yeah, that's so bad.
You're reaching lawbreaker territory real quick.
I hope so. That's mean. The Medium.
Do you want Deus Ex Mankind Divided 2? Because that's how you get it.
Yeah. The Medium, the third-person psychological horror game developed by Bloober Team, will release December 10th on PC, Series X, and Series S. There's also a new trailer. Trailer is like maybe a little bit too generous of it.
Yeah, it's not much of a trailer as much as it is like an environmental show-off.
Yeah. Which seems to be a lot of the trailers. Like, we really only have one good trailer.
Yeah, and I get why. And kind of in a game like that, I guess it could potentially be a little bit hard to show things without necessarily, because it looks like it's supposed to be a horror game, and so you want people to be scared. So you don't want to show them the jump scares happening.
Yeah, the scares.
Because then you just are already like, oh, well, you already know that's coming. That's not going to be as fun. I think they're missing the mark by releasing in December. Only because Halloween is not in December.
True.
But I understand, releasing then at the same time.
I'm realizing your poster here has like this lovely, like, kind of like silhouette thing going on, where it's like almost like it's creating the Death Star in the center there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah. I think that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I didn't realize it till just now. You got your lovely little like Yavin 4 map thing on the corner there, really like that.
Where are you talking? Oh, okay, yeah.
The shot that you keep seeing of like when it ticks closer and closer to being able to shoot the planet. We're doing an artistic critique of
the one
Nate's
thing.
Got a new.
Oh shit! I was gonna say the one thing I'm happy to see is not having two suns, but I think by Luke's left hand there are two suns.
Yeah, there's two suns.
Is that what the orange one is there?
Yep.
Damn it!
You don't like the two suns?
I'm just sick of Tatooine.
That two suns shot from A New Hope, where he's standing on the
right.
My favorite Star Wars scene in any of the movies.
In that context, we're all good. It's the fact that we couldn't leave Tatooine in 7, 8, and 9 that I just lost my shit.
Yeah, and Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah.
Going back.
Because where else can we go in Star Wars universe?
There's nothing worse than sand in Mandalorian armor.
Is there? It's coarse and it gets everywhere. I killed them, the women and the children. Oh, I can't. Fucking Anakin. I'm pretty sure that's Obi-Wan's line at one point. It's just, I fucking can't.
Annie, no. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, solid Padme. Number 8. Speaking of sword-wielding things, Ghost of Tsushima's free update will be coming on October 16th. The PlayStation blog outlines some more details about the update that we're going to gloss over. Item A.
Ooh.
8A.
Exhibit A.
Yeah. Single-player updates include New Game Plus, a Ghost Flower Merchant exclusive to New Game Plus, armor loadouts, new charms, and new cosmetics.
Yeah.
A couple of the charms look cool. The two that you see in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The couple of the
dyes look
pretty sweet. The armor loadout thing is interesting because if it's what I'm thinking, I could switch to Gosaku's armor, which already has preloaded my full stagger build.
Yep, that's what they showed in the. There's a little snippet where they show you like swapping armor right before an attack.
Which is what I did a lot. Just get into the middle of a fight and I'm like, I'm taking too much damage. Yeah. Let me switch real quick, and I can only picture Jin just being like, wait, I need to put on my father's armor. Because it makes you hurt less.
Hey, all right. Can you tie this for me right here? Yeah, just hold that one. Yep, we'll tighten that in.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys good? All right, I'm good. Let's go.
And then it goes back to looking like the throne room scene from episode 8.
Tying it back in.
When they're all just doing the weird choreography where people are just running away. I said I hated that shot when it happened. And now everybody watches it back and like, I hate that shot. I'm like, yes. Anyway.
At least we should do is that your least favorite Star Wars scene?
Can I die on a hill where I was right? Because I would love to. Also, least favorite? It's up there. But there are some other ones in 7, 8, and 9, specifically 8 and 9, specifically 8, that might run with it. Kid wielding broom, definitely up there.
It would have to be for me either Luke drinking the blue milk or whatever it was, or shirtless Kylo.
Which time?
There's that really awkward one.
The one where they're reaching out when they're force touching?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There was the really. I've only watched the movies one time.
Yeah, so it's the one where they're force touching when she's in the hut.
Yeah, and he's like awkwardly shirtless.
Yeah, he got done working out.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, that one's pretty bad. Yeah, yeah. We can just go right back to Star Wars. We've got the whole podcast about hating things.
All right.
I mean, there's stuff in 1, 2, and 3 that I hate as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I really hate that 2 sun scene in A New Hope. Anyway, moving on to more Ghost of Tsushima news. Legends is the multiplayer component that includes a few different modes. 2-player story missions and 4-player survival missions will be available immediately, with a raid following in a couple weeks. We got class outlines with this blog post, so here we go, buckle up. Samurai players can run straight toward combat and stay there. As a hunter. The idea that samurai is just, you run there, and then you're there. You're like, cool, now what do I do? And so they run straight toward combat and stay there, sustaining their health while chopping enemies down left and right. When you're overwhelmed, use the Hachiman's Fury ultimate attack to slash through enemies in a flurry of strikes. So I assume that is your tank class.
Sounds like it.
As a hunter, you can stand on the edge of combat and snipe enemies. You can also use explosive arrows to slow down groups. The Eye of Ichunis?
Something.
Uchisune. The Eye of Uchisune.
Yeah.
Ultimate attack will unleash multiple arrows straight at your enemies' heads. So you can be your own Sensei Ishikawa or Tomoe.
She's a bad bitch.
True, but she's not on the island, I guess, anymore, so Ishikawa.
Okay.
Spoiler alerts, by the way. Ronin players can revive their entire team with the Breath of Izanami ultimate ability. The Ronin class is also able to summon a spirit dog. So your melee DPS / healers, apparently, with a ranged DPS. And then the Assassin class does massive damage with a single attack. The Shadow Strike ultimate attack will allow you to teleport across the battlefield and directly strike your enemies. So your true melee DPS.
Nice. Cool.
I like the idea of just teleporting in the middle of battle. It's already crazy enough if you think about the Mongols fighting Jin towards that late game. When he's just like, I don't care anymore. Lightning.
Yeah.
But now they're like, cool, we'll fight him, and he just fucking teleports now.
And he disappeared.
Anybody seen him? No, Frank got stabbed in the back of the head.
I just want to see...
Anybody saw who did that?
I want to see, like, cosmetics and playstyles that reflect a group if we were to try to mimic Big Trouble in Little China. Like all those, because we got the hat already, got the dude with the hat.
That's true.
The Ronin style.
I would take seeing because we have the tribute to Sly Cooper.
Yes.
And I know they're not related at all, but I would take an assassin that has 3 dots on a headband to represent that of Sam Fisher.
Okay.
All right. When he blinks, you just hear the night vision turn on, just the.
Mm-hmm. I think a Samurai Jack reference would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah. Samurai Jack, so he's the tank because it's Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Impossible to beat him.
It would be interesting. I don't plan on getting PlayStation Plus just to.
I might
to do that, but
I really like the game, so I might. I don't know.
I like the game, but I just don't have a reason for PlayStation Plus.
I don't have a reason for a lot of things in my life. Yeah, come back from that one. No.
I was just going to be like, yeah, and? Like, I normally, yes, you do yes, and, but it's more of a question at that point because I don't know where to go. Except to the next story.
Nintendo held a treehouse for October.
They held up
What's the difference between a direct and a treehouse? Is it the length?
I think it's a mix of either the...
the only difference I could really tell is like treehouses tend to be gameplay.
Yeah.
And directs are just like usually like, hey, look at this thing we're doing.
I think directs are usually more...
Direct?
And more direct. Yeah. Oh, you got me. More official.
More produced.
But like more professional, I mean. Like they're more, you're more likely to see suits and people all being upright in a direct. Where Treehouse is almost
Let's go hang out in the treehouse.
Yeah, you're going to see Keebler Elves just hanging around
do
having
weird things.
And they're like, bro, Kirby sucks apples? Fucking weird dude.
All right, there it is. Anyway.
I don't know why. Yeah.
I don't know.
Kirby's weird, man. It's a whole weird...
If we really started to dissect some Nintendo things...
I would love to have been a fly on the wall when they're creating Kirby. All right, so what does he do? He's a vacuum. What does that mean? He sucks up anything. What? Yeah, that's his power. Sucks it all up. Just gone. Whole thing. That sandwich you're eating, gone. Kirby's in his mouth. And then guess what? He gets to be the power of the sandwich. So the next thing we're going to do is he eats the sandwich, gains the power, lettuce, tomato, piece of bread. That's the hat. What is wrong with you? I'm just really hungry. And Kirby's looking like a snack.
Jesus.
Listen, I wasn't developing Kirby in the 80s. Maybe that's how it went.
Maybe.
I'm just here to retell a story that was never existent.
I don't know how to recover from this. So
there is no way to recover from me, Matt. I am inevitable.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe had some of the story missions played through and some of the additional side story missions starring Olimar and Louis. I don't know if those are the names.
I can't believe Pikmin 3 is not out yet.
From the earlier Pikmin games. There's also the announcement of a demo, which should now be live on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was also shown off, but none of it makes any sense to me, so we're not going to talk about it.
You seen Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah.
You seen Zelda?
Yeah.
Now have a baby.
Don't know why you'd want to do that, but...
And then this is the second baby, because you already had the first one. So this is the number 2 child.
I mean, I get it, but when they're spitting characters, and it's supposed to sound exciting, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
Or doing crazy shit. It's insane.
In the membrane.
I'm too old for this.
Like just at some point. Oh, imagine us being in like an E3 conference. Like not that they're ever going to happen again, and Nintendo doesn't do them anyway. But you're just in like the 2 rows back, in the middle of the row, in the middle of it. Just I'm too old for this shit. You just get up and like try to walk out, but you have to like go past everybody after making a loud statement like that. I'm like,
that is like totally something I would do.
Number 10. In a weird move and in a joint announcement, GameStop and Microsoft announced a new multi-year partnership that will mostly see GameStop's back-end solutions move over to Microsoft's programs like Microsoft 365. This basically means GameStop stores will adapt Microsoft programs to help run business operations like sales and inventory, and store employees will use Microsoft 365 and Teams to communicate. GameStop also confirmed that it will carry the Xbox All Access payment plan that lets customers purchase an Xbox Series X for $34.99 a month for 24 months. This isn't particularly news, as Microsoft announced GameStop would be an All Access retail partner back in September, along with Best Buy, Target, and Walmart.
Did you see how much GameStop's stock went up after they made this announcement?
Did you see how low it was before it?
Should have bought it.
We talked to Dewey. I know he did.
Of course he did.
Remember, that was the whole joke back when this whole...
Oh, yeah, when Reggie
was taking over, and it was plummeting as he was taking over, and Dewey's like, I'm buying all the stock, man. Just like, okay, Dewey, psychopath.
Well, who's laughing now?
Dewey is laughing his way to the bank if he didn't already sell.
Probably didn't.
Should probably remind him, but the... when they say they're doing their back end stuff, I'm really intrigued what they were doing before. Were they using like Open Office or something? Office Libre? Like
they're probably just using some fucking broken ass proprietary.
It's their version of the creation engine. They have one like terminal window that somebody's kept alive for the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
No employees know how to talk to each other. Like that aren't at the other store without calling them and making a whole hassle of things. Their inventory is shot complete to shit because they have no idea what another store might actually have.
I wonder if they're going to start carrying like what you would find at a Microsoft store. If they're going to start carrying that stuff.
That's the other interesting angle because we do remember that Microsoft was shutting down some Microsoft stores.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll see them carrying Microsoft hardware. I think you'll see them carry Microsoft, like just the 365 and like Office plan cards that they might already carry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that they'll start carrying Surfaces randomly. That doesn't seem to mesh.
It's
where like those belong in a Best Buy.
Yeah.
Not at a GameStop.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good...
I could see them doing that just because like...
I could see them doing it, but it would be. I think it would.
It'd
just
be weird.
It'd be weird because you still have a lot of the GameStop stores were like half rebranded with the whole ThinkGeek thing to be half merchandise, half games.
Yeah.
So now do you go third merchandise, third Microsoft, third games? That just seems really weird at that point.
We're like slowly turning. They're slowly turning the Radio Shack.
They're like they are that Circuit City, like they're having their moment of just put it all in one place, and it's like, what?
So weird. I saw Radio Shack the other day. Not open, but I saw the Radio Shack sign still intact, and I was like, what the fuck?
Where were you?
Herkimer?
Yeah, so that's my guess. My guess is going to be Herkimer.
Yeah,
because I know exactly where the one is you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't go to Herkimer very often.
I never go to Herkimer.
It's kind of shady.
It's very sketch. I give a lot of shit to the other place, but it doesn't hold a candle to it.
Yeah.
You want to walk around a Walmart? Let me tell you.
Fun
fact: the Price Chopper near you is getting a remodel. In case you're curious,
I noticed.
I was in there the other day.
The containers sitting out in the parking lot were a big giveaway.
They ripped up and redid their entire produce section, and they were redoing aisles when I was in there, including full cooler walls and everything.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a Wegmans.
Ooh.
Or like
I could go for a Wegmans.
A Hannaford-esque.
Yeah.
Where like an actual more eat-in area. And
that's fancy. They actually had they had a pretty sizable like bakery / deli thing going on.
They had.
We're totally off topic right now.
Yeah, and this only applies if you're near us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some people might find it interesting.
Yeah. So remember how you kind of walked in the right side doors there, and you kind of had to go to the right.
Yeah. Like I had to like skew.
Yeah, you had like a little angle to then go into produce and everything.
Yeah.
From when you walk straight in, you are directly. If you just kept walking straight, you'd walk right past all the produce now, like the pre-made farm fresh like salad bags and everything.
Okay. So it is kind of like
Hannaford. That is now a flat wall that is now shoved over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've spaced things out a little bit further, added some more things in. Some more bunkers, I think, are in there. They put like lunch meat and everything. How that used to be on the other end of the store from that section, all over there now.
That makes sense.
Against the back wall. So it's actually next to the deli.
Yeah. Because that, you mentioned it's kind of weird because it'd be like produce, and then you had to go through all the fucking dry goods to get to like all of the other cooler stuff.
Yeah. So there's still frozen and dairy on that far side, and like the cheeses and like that, the dairy stuff, cheeses and milk and whatever is on that backside. But they had. That one also has the weird freezer section where there's the L of freezers.
Yeah.
So you come out of the cooler and then there's that front corner of freezers. And I don't know if they were doing stuff up there yet, but they had a step over from where they had all those lunch meat sandwiches were all doors. And I don't know if they were putting freezers all through there or if they're putting refrigeration doors all through there, but it was all cooler doors on that. So your outside wall, dairy, cooler doors, the entire other side of the aisle. And I think they were going to put more, I assume, on the backside of that. And then they had more, so where the milk was in that L corner, from that, more dairy doors all the way down.
Fascinating.
Or more cooler doors all the way down to like where their swing doors are for the back room, which then opens up into the meat cooler right after that.
Go check it out. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's worth a walkthrough just to take a gander.
I usually don't like going to Price Chopper because there's always a ton of old people there and they're slow as fuck. Every time I go there, walking across the walkways, they're just slow and they impede your progress.
It's a time-based maneuver for sure. Depending on when you go, old people love to shop at certain times. You got to avoid the old people times.
You just Sony.
If we're speaking about old people, I stopped at a Walgreens on the way home.
Oh,
you want to talk about old people being slow? I got two old women in front of me. cartfuls. Carts at a Walgreens.
I don't even know how you do that.
So, if you're curious, Price Chopper. What were we talking about?
I think we're moving on. Yeah, because it was GameStop. We're done
Yeah.
with that shit.
Yeah, so when you walk into a new GameStop, maybe that's getting remodeled with the produce section on the left.
PlayStation's on the right. Surface
Here I
tablets
am, stuck in the middle with you. Oh, sorry.
hanging from the ceiling.
Aw. Tell me you know the song I went for, at least.
No.
Joker's to the left.
Oh, okay. Sony has informed developers that it plans to revamp its digital storefront later this month, removing users' options to purchase games and DLC released initially on the PS3, PSP, and Vita from a mobile device or PC. This is a really confusing story. Users,
Yeah, I'm so happy you wrote about it, too, because I went to read through it and went, no fucking idea what he's talking about.
Yep. Users will still be allowed to make new purchases for PlayStation Legacy titles, but they will have to purchase them directly from PS3, PSP, Vita, or PS4 gaming consoles. Let me peruse this real quick. All right. The moral of the story is that
Live editing, here we go.
for whatever reason, you will not be able to say I'm on a PS4 console. I will not be able to buy PS3 stuff or PSP stuff or Vita stuff from that console. I will only have access to PS4 stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And that goes for all of that stuff.
Probably unless you're on a computer.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably the only way to get around it, because you can buy stuff and preload it onto your console, so... Maybe you need to have...
I don't know if that's true, because there is some other weird stuff. Sony reportedly will also remove the ability to download apps, themes, and avatars for PS4 on both web and mobile.
Interesting move.
The PlayStation Store's wish list feature is also being discontinued.
Who needs those? You don't need a wish list. Children.
And from the blog post we're about to discuss, games that are playable on PS4 will be noted on the PlayStation Store as playable on, quote, PS4 only, unquote.
Yep. I put that up there just because it was store relevant, but
yeah.
Now if a game is only compatible with the PS4, it will be noted as such in the store.
Nice. I'm assuming these are just like, this is kind of Sony's MO, whereas Xbox, Microsoft tends to support their consoles longer, Sony does not. So they're kind of just like making the PS5 the focus and like cutting out features on the other consoles.
I think it's that mixed with them trying to compartmentalize and almost containerize their stores. So no longer do they have this one conglomerate that they have to try to manage and figure out how it all works. No, you just have the Vita store. You just have the PS3 store. You just have PS4.
It plays into their services too, because like PS Now and whatnot, like, you know, oh, you want old stuff, just get PS Now.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck. Is that the one?
PS Now is, Yep. All right, so here we go. Number 12. Sony also posted answers to users' burning questions in regards to PS4 games on the PS5, also known as your Harry Met Sally story. Here is a quick summary from the PlayStation blog post. We begin. In regards to what PS4 games will be supported with the PS5's backwards compatibility, Sony has said that, quote, more than 99% of PS4 games will be playable on PS5 on day one, end quote. To which I ask of you, isn't more than 99% usually 100?
Unless you're talking about hand sanitizer.
And unless you talk about the idea that Sony is now going to say it is actually 99.167% of our games.
It can kill 99.9% of germs.
Well, yeah, because it legally can't say 100%. So we're probably in the same thing here. But yeah, so that's pretty good. Finally, we get the answer. 99%
Point something.
Yeah, 99 and some odd percentage of games, of PS4 games, are going to be available on PS5 on day one. Good. Now let's make it a little bit more confusing.
Hell yeah.
Though there's really no other way to do this. In regards to the digital edition PS5, you will be able to play digital versions of your compatible PS4 games on the PS5 digital edition console. These will be compatible PS4 digital games you have already purchased or plan to purchase via the PlayStation Store on PS4, PS5, web, or the PlayStation mobile app. Since there is no disk drive, you will not be able to play your PS4 disc-based games on the PS5 digital edition.
That makes sense.
Seems all pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing just because there's so many PSs getting thrown around here.
Yep, classic.
But
not quite as bad
if you
as
got the digital,
Xbox.
If you got the digital games, you get the digital games. If you have a disc and you bought the non-disc one, well, guess what?
Why'd you fuck yourself?
You played yourself. In regards to the disc drive PS5, you can play digital versions of your compatible. I gotta stop playing with it. I'm not. That click might be coming through, and I've just been sitting here playing with it, so that might be annoying. In regards to the disc drive PS5, you can play digital versions of your compatible PS4 games you downloaded from PlayStation Store on PS4, PS5 web, or the PlayStation mobile app. You can also use physical PS4 game discs.
Makes sense.
So you get the digital benefit we just talked about, and because you have a disk drive, you can use discs. When you sign in to a PS5, or I guess to your PS5, with your account for PlayStation Network, you will automatically see your library of played PS4 content through the menu.
All right, pretty straightforward. I like it.
So there's that. Here's some more. Select PS4 titles will see increased loading speeds on the PS5 console, and will also leverage Game Boost, offering improved or more stable frame rates. Some titles with unlocked frame rates or dynamic resolution up to 4K may see higher fidelity. Additionally, PS4 games will also take advantage of some of PS5's new UX features, but more to come on that later. So some games might be enhanced for PS5. Now, if we haven't completely confused you, here's the part for Matt. PSVR is compatible with PS5, but here is what you need to do it. Here's what you need in order to do it. From the blog, quote, "Please note that playing PSVR games on a PS5 console requires a PSVR headset, DualShock 4 wireless controller, or PlayStation Move controllers, and a PS camera for PS4, which are sold separately from the PS5 console. Also, the PS5 HD camera is not compatible with PSVR on PS5. You'll need to use the PS camera for PS4 and the PS camera adapter, which is no purchase required, to use the PSVR on PS5, end quote."
Why wouldn't they make the PS... There's some tomfoolery going on
So
here.
you need... So here's...
You need everything.
You
but
need...
the PlayStation 4.
You need everything, including a DualShock 4.
This is like...
But the DualShock 4 doesn't work on the 5.
Except for...
VR. So it clearly can, and they just went, ha-ha.
Fuck you. Also, why would the PlayStation 4 camera work with the PSVR, but not the PlayStation 5 camera?
Via an adapter. I assume it's like a firmware thing that they baked in somewhere, and they didn't bake that into 5. Why they didn't bake it into 5, I think, is the bigger question. I don't know.
I don't know either. And it confuses me even more because I've hooked my PlayStation VR headset up to my PC, and it has the sensors in it because it works without any camera.
Yeah.
So you know how they're always like, oh, you need the lights.
Yeah.
The lights is how it
you
fucking
need
works.
The camera.
You lie in sacks of shit. All right? It knows what's going on without the fucking lights. It might not be like mega accurate, but it seemed to be working pretty goddamn good.
As far as I'm concerned, it fucking worked, man. Also, More from this post. You can transfer digital games, game data, and game saves from a PS4 console to a PS5 console using LAN cables or by connecting wirelessly, also known as Wi-Fi in case, you kids weren't worthy. If you've already stored PS4 games and game data in the external USB storage device connected to your PS4, you can bring them over to PS5 with that external USB storage device. And if you are a PS Plus member, you can also sync PS4 game saves on PS5 through cloud storage. A note from Sony. Quote, please note that the ability to transfer game saves between a PS4 version and a PS5 version of the same game is a developer decision and will vary title by title for cross-generational games, end quote.
Jesus.
A lot to be said, but a lot that needed to be said. Because prior to this post was nothing but a speculation and questions. And what will I do when I get my PS5 but download MLB The Show first? Watch it be one of the 99% that isn't.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they say that because they are just covering their asses if there's a bug and then they can't figure out how to fix the bug.
Yeah. Or like early PS4 titles.
Yeah.
Like Infamous Second Son somehow isn't allowed. We couldn't figure out how to get the spray can mechanic working on a dual shot, on a dual sense.
Where are we?
Sounds like I have 3 ice cubes in my dual sense.
I'm still curious about this whole like noise engineering, sound engineering thing.
Yes,
because they seem to make a big deal out of it. We haven't really like.
Well, they made a big deal out of it.
Yes,
and then they shut up.
Yes,
they're like, I'm here with Mark Cerny, and I would love to tell you about this high quality audio that we have. And then no one heard from him ever again. And we're like, but you can move your PlayStation games, and that's where we are. Yeah. So we get Mark Cerny, and then they put him back in the closet to start working on the PS6. Or PS5 Pro.
Those 77 people or whatever.
I tell you what, though, they
picked the PS5.
No. That 77 people pre-ordered a console. 55 picked the PS5. Picked a disc PS5.
There it is. PS5 won the console war. You heard
confirmed. 55
confirmed. 55.
In case you want to apply that to a real life situation.
Speaking of fanboys.
Wait, what? At Microsoft Game Pass.
AMD yeah, that's true. Game Pass got those Game Pass fanboys over here. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm not wearing a Microsoft shirt right now that says I love Game Pass. Stop reading my shirt to find out if I am.
Read my shirt for more info.
On the back, you'll see the terms and conditions may apply. It's just the entire EULA, just the entire end user license agreement on my back for Game Pass.
You know what'd be funny? You know how like the white panels on the PS5 are like they're
textured.
Yeah, textured. It'd be funny if they were textured and it was really just the fucking end user agreement.
Yeah. So they just didn't have to. They're like, we're not going to print the booklet. It's literally just on your console.
On the console. Get your magnifying glass out.
And the end of it says, when you power this on, you've accepted this.
It's too real. I mean, I could see that happening. It's too real.
Listen, there's a whole reason the South Park episode was you didn't read Apple's user agreement. They can turn you into a human centipede.
All right.
You need to watch South Park.
Where was I?
AMD.
I broke this somehow. Okay.
You broke it.
AMD CEO Dr. Lisa Su took the stage to announce their new Ryzen 5000 CPU lineup. We won't go full nerd about these, but the gist is that AMD is claiming a 19% IPC increase. Instructions per clock. That's the the magic. Ooh.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah, I forgot that in here you wrote wait for crowd noise.
Yeah, sorry. You'll get it next time.
Yeah, I got you.
19% IPC increase from the previous generation. That would put AMD slightly above Intel CPUs, even in gaming. With the uptick in performance comes an uptick in price.
Sorry, no crowd noise on that one.
The big disclaimer, which, if you're following tech, you should know these are the benchmarks were provided by AMD. So
grains of salt.
Yes, grains of salt
or salt cubes, depending on how you know. Salt licks, whole salt licks,
horse salt blocks. Those giant horse salt blocks.
Take it with those. How do you like your tea? 1 lump or 2?
So, yeah, wait for third-party benchmarks on this. But here we go. They announced 4 CPUs, starting with the Ryzen 5 5600X, which is 6-core, 12-thread.
Now do you remember what those numbers are after that?
I do, but people don't care about that, so it doesn't matter. The moral of the story here...
Give me which one's the gigahertz.
Both of them are. So the
lows and highs?
3.7, 4.6. 3.7 is like...
normal, 4.6 max?
4.6 is the boost.
Okay. For $300.
300 doll hairs, yep. So there's a couple of differences. So the big difference is that the L3 cache is unified. On Ryzen 2, it was broken up into 2 chunks.
Okay.
And they clock higher is one of the other big things. Wow. So kind of, I don't know, they're saying this is a whole new architecture, which I guess it kind of is because it is like fundamentally different like layout.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on, Ryzen 7 5800X, 8-core, 16 threads. That's going to be $450. Then you have your Ryzen 9 5900X, 12-core, 24-thread, which will be $550. And then you have your Ryzen 9 5950X, which is 16 cores, 32 threads at good old $800.
Yep.
Big money. Big money, big money.
Big money.
And then AMD's One More Thing moment was a tease of their upcoming Big Navi GPUs that they are calling their RX 6000 series. They displayed benchmarks for 3 games, which, if accurate, would mean that whatever RX 6000 GPU they were showing us benchmarks for is competitive with the RTX 3080.
Makes sense. Where they need to be. If they're not going to be above it, they need to compete it.
Yes, which downplaying it, both of these are kind of big deals. Because it's been a long time since they've ever been faster in Intel, and it's been a long time since they've been able to compete with NVIDIA. So we'll see how true they are.
Yep.
But they did make that claim. They did make the big thing was that they said they have the fastest gaming CPU now.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So
the gauntlet has been thrown.
We'll see.
And as we know, my favorite highlight from that paragraph was Big Navi.
Big Navi.
Because that implies
Little
Navi.
Little Navi.
I just want to see that. I want to see the computer that's called Big Navi and Little Navi, and it's just see 2 graphics cards, and it's like we know the 3090 size.
Yeah,
Big Navi. Yeah. But then there's the AMD
big boy.
There's the AMD Fire Pro cards, Little Navi.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Yeah. Basically. It's like, have you seen the Among Us? Where you can have a little among you following you around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Big Navi and Little Navi. Also, I'm pretty sure those are new characters in Avatar 2. So. Number 14. The Steam Game Festival Autumn Edition is happening now through October 13th. PC gamers will have the opportunity to access a slew of indie games coming out within the next 6 months free of charge. Check it out.
Have you
check it out?
Have you dabbled in there?
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't done my let's take a look and see what I want to spend about 10 minutes playing yet. I might though, because I'm kind of running a little low on something to sink my teeth into. I had WoW.
You need a little bit of a palate cleanser. Yeah, you blew your load too quick on WoW.
And now I don't have it.
because
Though-
they were gonna give it to you, and they took it away.
Though I do get pre-patch, so I will at least get a little bit of there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, listen, you can only tease for so long before you just go, I want the real thing. I want the whole thing.
Yeah. I feel ya.
Life, man. I know we don't normally talk about the watch list of Doom that might elicit conversation, but I do want to mention the first thing, the PS5 teardown video.
Cool.
Pretty cool video.
It was.
A
lot of thought went into the design.
Not watching it with subtitles was probably a mistake from my part because I really didn't understand a thing he said except for USB Porto, and
USB Porto.
The specifically the things that you mentioned there, the dust catches of like the vacuumable spots.
They got these cool little intake holes that are designed to catch dust, and you are meant to pop the side panel off, stick the vacuum onto it, and suck the dust out. And there you go, which is fucking fantastic.
It's
because
infinitely easier than Pavor.
Yeah, because PS4 sounds like a goddamn jet engine when it gets dirty.
Yeah.
Some of us have that problem more than others. I have a very dusty house.
Well, you also use yours much more than I do, which I think 100% contributes to it.
True.
Mine's not on constantly like collecting stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, the side panels being popped off look pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of potentially doing custom side panels, a la old school 360 faceplate customs. So that I'm down for that.
The stand is ingenious. Not really. I don't want to say ingenious, but it's nice design.
Yeah, it's nice design. The Japan model, when you take it off, they actually give you the cap to cover the hole. So now it all just looks the same again.
Classic Japan. Using liquid metal for their thermal compound,
which was interesting to see.
Yeah, really interesting. A little enthusiast grade going on.
Yeah, there was a part where somebody was like, "All right, well, we got to cool this thing," and people started just kind of whispering, and somebody's like, "Liquid metal," and they're like, "Holy shit!"
Oh my god!
Yes.
I wonder if it
more RGB in this thing.
I'm assuming it has a longer.
Maybe I've never actually looked at cooling with liquid metal before.
I've seen some I haven't actually watched them, but I've seen some popular tech channels put up some testing with liquid metal. Who knows though?
Who knows? Can you click that link for me, by the way, just so it's open? Yeah, the humble one. Humble.
The other nice thing about the PS4 or PS5 breakdown, the storage expansion slot is really accessible.
And it's an M2 slot, right?
Yeah, M2, and it's literally like white panel off, and then there's a little door that you pop off. I don't even think it has a screw. It's just like it snaps in and off.
Yeah, it looked like he almost just plucked it out of there, and I was like, that almost seems too easy.
Yeah, so.
And sometimes I do. In some PCs, I like the idea of heat sinking in M2 because they do make M2 heat sinks. But
yeah, I noticed that's a thing now. A lot of the newer, at least on the AMD side, a lot of the newer AMD motherboards come with them included.
With M2 heat sinks included?
Yeah, M2 heat sinks, and some of them have the active fans on them as well.
Oh, okay.
So you can fucking speed.
I just picture you're basically doing a Jeremy Clarkson building a computer. Power. Anyway, yeah, so that's it for news and fun things. Well, that's it for news. On to some other fun things, like some deals. Like if Matt has this loaded, I'll tell him to go first before I start talking. Does he have?
Yeah, what am I talking about? Humble choice here?
Yeah, the humble choice for this month.
We got some Tropico 6 El Prez edition. Autonauts, Age of Enlightenment, the Sunless bundle, don't know what that one is. Shadows Awakening, Fae Tactics, Fantasy Blacksmith, The Suicide of Rachel Foster, Goat of Duty. I like that one. The Uncertain, Episode 1, I can't read that. Basement. I started to, I was like, I can't make out that word. Light Matter and Iron Danger. That's all 12 games, actually. I'm confused. Subscribe to get all 12 games. I'm on the right month here, right?
Yeah, you're on the right month.
Yeah, there you go. All 12 games if you subscribe. Subscribe to Humble Choice.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. What we got for bundles going? Anything good?
I did not look at bundles, so you take a look at those, and I'll read off some other things. PlayStation Plus. If you have PlayStation Plus, you're going to get these 2 games for free on your PS4. Need for Speed, Payback, and Vampire. If you have Xbox Gold, you are going to get these 4 games at these weird times for yourself. Slayaway Camp, Butcher's Cut, available October 1st to the 31st for Xbox One. Maid of Sker, available October 16th to November 15th on Xbox One. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, available October 1st to the 15th for Xbox One and Xbox 360. Costume Quest, available October 16th to the 31st for Xbox One and Xbox 360. Twitch Prime, which is actually now just Prime Gaming. If you have a Prime account with Amazon, that means you have Prime Gaming. And that includes these games for this month. Layers of Fear, Silver Chains, Dead Age, Surf World Series, Dark Side Detective, and Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
The Humble Book Bundle.
Ooh, we have a book bundle from Humble.
Is World of Warcraft's Legends Library by Blizzard Publishing.
Slightly intrigued.
Wow, okay, that's a lot
just
of...
Flash me a picture of it real quick. Let me just...
This is pay $1 to unlock.
All right, yeah, I'm interested. I'm listening.
Yeah, you are.
Hey. No need.
I'm not going to... Should I read through... You want me to read through these? I can read through these.
I mean, do you want me to do it just to highlight, or...
Yeah, you can do that.
I mean, either one. Doesn't matter to me.
Oh yeah, you're probably gonna buy this. Don't fucking lie to yourself. Okay, here you go.
Oh, fucking, you don't need to know me like that. All right. So pay $1 to unlock World of Warcraft: War of the Ancients, Book 1, The Well of Eternity. Hey Matt, fun fact. This really fat book right here is all 3 of those books.
Why are you fucking shaming that book? All right, it was born that way.
Listen, I read it. I treated it well.
Okay.
Also, the Sunwell Trilogy, Dragon Hunt Book 1, World of Warcraft Volume 1. Don't know what that one is. Warcraft Legends Volume 1. Don't know that one. Legends Volume 2. Oh, Matt, this is what I really need. The World of Warcraft Pop-Up Book.
There you go. World of Warcraft Pop-Up Book. That's a thing.
Yeah, in a digital book bundle. I'm really curious how that works for $1. Oh, okay, so it's just you do get the thing, but you can get the physical book for an actual different price. Okay. What else we got here? Pay $10 or more to also unlock The War of the Ancients, The Demon Soul, which is book 2 of that trilogy behind me. The Sunwell Trilogy, book 2. World of Warcraft, volume 2. World of Warcraft, Curse of the Worgen. Warcraft Legends, volume 3. Day of the Dragon. Ooh, you can get Cinematic Art of Warcraft, volume 1. So you get some pictures.
Yeah, little picture.
Then you can get book 3 of the thing I've talked about. You can get Arthas, Rise of the Lich King, which is that book right there.
Well, apparently he's not buying it because he's already got all the fucking books because he's a big fat nerd. Right? Big fat WoW nerd.
I don't need to be so publicly called out. The Sunwell Trilogy for the book 3, World of Warcraft Volume 3, World of Warcraft Volume 4, World of Warcraft Mage, Warcraft Legends 5 and 4, World of Warcraft Death Knight, World of Warcraft Ashbringer. Some of this other stuff I have no idea what it even is, but I am intrigued, Matthew, because for $18 I can have 9, 10, 16, 21, 22 books and some art for
There you go.
$18.
There you go. Lots of content.
That's what we like here. Content.
Saw some rumors going around that the Warcraft movie might be getting a sequel or possibly a reboot.
Yeah, did you see the whole Henry Cavill as Arthas thing?
I did.
Because that subreddit blew up with now just fake Photoshop.
Can you blame them?
No. With fake Photoshopping him on anything. I'll show you some of the great ones after.
Oh, nice. I did see him rendered as
rendered
Arthas.
as the Lich King is great.
Yeah.
And I would be all for it. Because who better than the WoW nerd himself who almost lost his Superman role because he was raiding Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he'd do it. He'd be like, fuck yes. I'll play every role.
Yeah, I'll play Uther and Arthas. I'll do both. I'll do both sides of the scene. We don't need anybody else here. I'll take care of it. So, yeah. That Arthas book is worth a read. It's my favorite book in that entire... everything I just read off to you, that Arthas book is my favorite one. And I'm pretty sure it's the same as this one. That one, the spine of the one that I'm looking at doesn't show the subtitle on it, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. Rise of the Lich King.
Oh, this is relevant.
Yeah, it's the same one. Nope.
There's a Humble Comics bundle as well.
Of Warcraft?
And it's The Boys versus Project Superpowers.
Oh, The
So
Boys. Good old Prime show.
For $1, you get The Boys Volume 1, The Boys Volume 2, Project Superpowers Xmas. I don't know what Project Superpowers is. Black Terror. Pay $8 or more, you get Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7. Basically... Yeah, it looks like basically, you pay $15 or more and you get all the boys. I don't know if that's a good deal. You also get all Project Superpower, also Black Terror, whatever Black Terror is, The Devil, Masquerade.
It seems pretty good. I think the only part for me right now is that I'm kind of holding off on reading The Boys. Because I'm still, not even until I finish this season, but, I feel like I've got to finish this season, and then if I read up to where this season is. Type of thing. I know it doesn't follow it exactly in a chronological order, but I don't want to start ruining stuff for myself by reading it.
Yeah,
because I haven't read it first. If I had already read it and then I was watching it, it wouldn't be so bad. But now that I'm watching it, I don't want to read it and ruin things for myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's all you got, unless you got another one.
I mean, it looks like there's a whole slew of Humble bundles going on. We got some Dungeons and Dragons ones, as per usual. Don't really care about that. Whole slew of other stuff. Got some franchise sales. Humble Choice or Build Your Own Bundle. That's what it was called.
Ooh, a Build Your Own Bundle
for fuck. I was just looking at it.
2K Sega.
No, it had
Square.
Dragon Ball Z.
Namco. Bandai Namco. I'm just gonna keep guessing publishers until you tell me. So
yeah.
All right, yeah. So that means it's been 7 days. I have been. What have you been doing, Matt?
I just been doing some stuff. How you doing? What you been doing?
I've been catching up on The Boys. I have today's episode, which is episode 8, and I'm partway through 7, so about an episode and 2/3 to go, probably.
I feel you on that. All my shows drop on Friday. Really frustrating.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I've just kind of been bouncing around. Started playing some more of the show this week. Been playing playing a little bit of the FIFAs. Tried Squadron, talked about that earlier. Might play Among Us this weekend a little bit. Played some Tony Hawk. Played Remnant a little while back. Didn't mention that, Remnant from the Ashes. But that's kind of been
Wasteland?
It. Oh yeah, Wasteland. Yeah, we also have been playing Wasteland and Football Manager, of course. Can't forget Football Manager. But Wasteland and Football Manager have both been getting their run. Football Manager more so because we just hit the end of we just hit the on Monday was the deadline day in real life. So that brought a bunch of news around, and then Kenny and I getting excited again for soccer and drove us right back into it. And we're almost at the end of our season in our save. So yeah.
Nice.
It's been a fun time.
Nice.
He should win the league this year. So
I should have played games by next week, so we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
As the kids say.
That's fair.
All right. That's it then. I'll see you guys. No, I won't. You'll hear me if you tune in again next week. You'll hear him too.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what? 50-50. Maybe we won't. Maybe. You know what? We'll see it then. We'll just see it then. Bye-bye.